How you doing, Missy?
Eh, I'm going. I'll get it back to the restroom. Clean up the mess.
Or the last.
Maybe, I couldn't remember, did you use the clicker last time, or are you still using me?
I'm using you.
Okay. I put it up there, but because I couldn't remember. Are you using? She's using me. I got get Kohl's, when I shop, I'll get pickups from there once in a while.
Yeah.
And on your bag, they put the first two letters of your last name. So I'm Ho. So my last name's Hunter. And I picked up one time, I told Lily, I said, it cracks me up that you guys call me Ho. And I showed her my bag and she started laughing.
I know, if she'd done that to somebody else, it might have gotten in there.
Hey, I said it, so. But it's so funny because it's in like 2-inch capital letters, you know, this sticker that just says Ho.
Oh, El Dorado's the name of it.
If you don't want to go there, we can go someplace else. I'm not.
No, I'm gonna check and see this other place is open and then you can
Okay.
taste it.
Sounds good.
Just. I just have to find it.
There's also one called Victory Garden. I don't even know if it's still open. I never made it there.
Victory Garden. No, Victory Garden closed a long time ago.
That's what I thought.
It closed, right after the pandemic opened back up, and they opened up for business. I just love to go to that place. They had the best food, and it was a real local color kind of a place in the middle of the neighborhood.
Well, yeah, because we used to go there when it was,
But they closed, like, we went there we went there one Sunday, and then the next week, Bob was riding his bike and came home, and he said, Victory Gardens, looks like they're closing. I go, really? I was going to suggest we go over to Aurora Barnes and Vibes.
oh, yeah, I've been wanting to try that out.
She's closing this weekend, and Monday, she's selling everything in the store, so we might see something that we want to get dibs on.
Cool. Well, yeah, we're 9 minutes before class, that's, I was wondering,
It's hard to say how many people.
just because it was added on.
Like this would be this part that she's talking about, I thought it sounded really interesting.
Well, and I wondered if since I'm sending the PowerPoints and the resources out, and people are like, yeah, just get it on the recording.
But they're not getting recording.
They're getting the PowerPoint though, she had me send that to them. So.
So if I save that PowerPoint, will I be able to pull that up a year from now?
Yes. Yeah.
You should, unless she,
But you can also go in the library and get.
it's actually live, yeah, it's not a PowerPoint, it's Canva, so it's a website.
Okay.
So unless she takes it down, it should be, and she's kind of using this, I know, she told me that they're planning on teaching this at other places too, so she's getting the recording just for herself, so she can see what she needs to tweak and fix, so I would expect those are gonna be there, they might get better as they add things over time.
I know I've saved things before and then I go back a couple of years later and the link is no longer
It
there.
depends, yeah.
Well, yeah, what we've done, Trina spent a lot of time in the break between the 2 semesters. We've updated the library and we took down the registration button and then now the links are in each page.
All the handouts, recordings.
So the
Oh,
link
okay.
for session 1, session 2, session 3, handouts, that's all now on the course page.
It goes back to 2020.
We're getting more and more the
So,
hospitals. going to be-
You have access to all of those. I don't have much power today, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your pockets?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's-
Yeah, I know you'll be.
Did you get your flower right there?
Yes.
Is it in the back?
Yeah, I forgot
There's so much now.
Yeah, well, celebrated at the chapel.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I introduced Liz to it as a chocolate amazing. The fundraiser Friday.
Oh, that was fun.
It's
I
three
finally
floors
had
of
one of
chocolate.
those chocolate martinis. I'm
Oh
not a
my
big
gosh.
martini drinker. Yeah, I almost put me to sleep that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do like appetizers, desserts, fruit dips. snack
Really?
courses, and everything that is cocoa or chocolate involved.
Is it Mama Baker? That's the restaurant.
Okay.
I can see. For lunch.
That sounds good. That one or five? Either one.
Okay, so.
It doesn't say they're open.
Most of them are closed on Mondays.
Go on it, on their website, it'll tell you what days.
Travel.
Take yourself out of your coat.
Trying to get this so it's not gonna be so much in the Zoom. So there's more Amy.
Yeah. One more, then you're done.
That's what you look.
A couple more minutes.
Yeah, because people.
I left some magazines back here for you guys, and some other things. The short active aging and healthy childhood family resources. So help yourself, so I don't have to carry it back.
That short was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think just before was in the next one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the parking was better today. I don't know why.
What?
The parking was better today.
You know why? Because the kids were out of school a half day last week, and I'm wondering if, no, but it was at 10 in the morning, we were having a horrible time at the parking.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know.
was better today.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually got in a lot,
Resolutions.
not out on the street.
I had to park in the back and walk around, it was cold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's pretty chilly out there too. I was.
Yes, it
I was
was.
surprised. I pulled in and found a place right away.
So did I
I
today.
got here at 9 and that's like a really bad time. Because it's usually packed.
Yeah.
So.
You know, I'm actually in the lot.
I know, me too.
The sign.
What happened?
Is it the right day?
I park out on the street a lot because I get here early to set up and it's
Yeah.
so busy in the morning. You come over here anytime after 12, it's like, there's nothing.
There's nobody. Yeah, it's not crazy.
That's when I come back, it's
Until-
collapsed because.
Till the middle school gets out.
Right, I just know between 12 and 2.
Yeah.
Because 2:30, the pool, which is open to school.
Oh, that's right.
And it's always swim that. But and this time of day, they have one lane, trying to share it with somebody else, and then there's a class that's taking. Like, really, they don't need the whole pool. Put a couple of lanes in. There, you got somebody, now you got smaller. Lynn and I have talked about the fact that it's,
I know, it's like. That's why I don't look.
Yesterday, I had to sleep in there, so I took off on my phone.
And then some. How's your son doing?
Oh, good.
He's good?
Yeah, some friends.
Easy.
He was. I think he took the paper. He was fine.
This last one was just some things I hadn't had a chance to tell you about, so I'm just kind of circling back within our community. And I have quite a bit of time left for any questions or any other insight or input. I wanted to say real quick, it's interesting to know your triage hospitals. One of my caregivers was having a severe medical problem. And she went to Salisbury versus Easton, which, yes, that's a triage, but it's the lowest level. And they sent her home, and it was severe. She was passing out, had no idea what was going on within her. So then a week and a half ago, not last Friday, the Friday before, she goes to Annapolis. I keep saying, get to John Hopkins. She gets taken out of Annapolis last Thursday.
Who's saying it to Johnson?
Me, get to a triage, a real triage hospital.
But how do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, she was driving her daughter was driving her, I'm like, get her to
Oh.
a hospital now.
So she walked into the ER then?
Yes.
Hopkins.
No, this is at Annapolis, they sent her home,
Okay.
After 4 days.
How did she get?
her daughter,
Okay.
round three in the hospital for the same problems. We don't have any results, but the reality is, it's a neurological. Anne Arundel set her up to have a neurologist appointment, but sent her home without anybody looking at it. And it just reminds me, why? Why are they so quick to send somebody out who comes back in 2 days? You know, it's going back and back and back. What's happening? Clearly, I think they're giving her fluids. She's anemic now and having all these problems, but she was having seizures as well and is passing out. And this is not her norm. So it just kind of hits you again about knowing what hospitals. And I literally said, if something else, I told her Christiana or John Hopkins, your choice. I don't know, your choice.
You're omitting University of Maryland.
But that's true, and it's not, no, there isn't any other than, no, there is no reason other than, those are my experience, and they are triage as well.
Okay.
So yes, they are
Hopkins,
University of Maryland
okay,
and Christiana are your top triage hospitals.
Okay.
So, Anne Arundel and Tide Salisbury, is it Tide? Tidal Health, they are the same level. So, and I'm not saying it's bad, I went to Tidal Health with my foot and they did a fabulous job. I was triaged, but I wasn't like threatening triage, so there's different needs. But I just wanted to put that out, I know we talked about,
If you're taken by ambulance,
they're gonna take you to Easton,
then
and they can stabilize you.
they won't ask you where, like, if you,
You do
you
not
can't
have-
say to them, I'd like to go to Salisbury.
No.
Like, they won't do it.
They're gonna take you to the
And,
closest.
and let me add, I think from my recent experience with a friend, if you don't have a friend or family member to drive you, and you wanna hire an ambulance, it'll cost $1,000, I guess.
It doesn't trying to get one, because we tried to get one recently for a client, and the ambulance service that's here, Best Care, they are only contracted out from the hospital, so they don't even pick up anymore, anybody else. So hiring an ambulance service is really not an option, as much as you try, sorry.
I'm sorry to keep asking questions, but I'm trying to get the levels correct. So the first level is the community-based
No.
hospital, here they will stabilize you.
But that is not a triage, it's a community.
No, I understand,
Okay,
that's
yes.
my question.
Okay,
What's the difference between Salisbury and Tidal Health versus Easton, University of Maryland, Shore?
okay, so they are a triage 3, bottom line triage. They have surgeons there 24/7.
The other two you mentioned, Salisbury.
Salisbury
and
is Tidal Health, Salisbury is
Oh,
Tidal
I'm
Health.
sorry, okay.
They have a surgeon within 30 minutes. I know we did this on the first day, but the difference between all three of them is one has a surgeon that is on call that can be there 30 minutes.
And that's Salisbury title,
Yes,
they're one and the same,
yes,
and then.
an ambulance.
But there's no 24-hour surgeon on call at University of Maryland Easton Hospital.
They do not, yes, they do
Okay.
not. That's the
Outstanding.
difference. No, I'm sorry. And then from there, you go up into Title II. I mean, Triage 2, I really don't see it and I don't understand that. But then you go to Johns Hopkins,
Right.
University of
Or
Christianity.
Washington.
Yeah, wherever on the others.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
just knowing, issues and knowing that.
So Amy, you were talking about trauma centers level 1.
2, 3.
Yeah, didn't you say level 1 was the best?
Yes.
It is not.
Oh, did I do it backwards?
You did it backwards.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I was thinking about that last week and then I just double checked it. I got it up on my phone.
I
You
apologize.
said it last week, you said it in reverse, that's, I was starting to get confused.
Oh, I am sorry, guys. Little brain dead.
So just to clarify, then level 1 is a trauma center with comprehensive regional resources that is a tertiary care facility central to the trauma system. Level 2 is a trauma center is able to initiate definitive care for all injured patients. Level 3 is a trauma center has demonstrated an ability to provide prompt assessment, resuscitation, surgery, intensive care, stabilization of injured patients, and emergency operations. Level 4 trauma center has demonstrated an ability to provide advanced trauma life support prior to transfer of patients to a higher level trauma center. And level 5 is a trauma center that provides initial evaluation, stabilization, diagnostic capabilities, and prepares patients for transfer to higher levels of care. That's confusing.
So Easton would be a level 4 or 5.
I don't think so.
They're not even that, they're a community hospital.
Yeah, so now I'm.
Now you got me confused, because now I gotta go back and
We're
look.
all
Yeah.
confused.
Trauma
Yes.
center levels across the United States are identified in 2 fashions. A designation process and a verification process. Different levels, 1, 2, 3, or 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 refer to the kinds of resources available in the trauma center and the number of patients admitted yearly. These are categories that define national standards for trauma care hospitals. So I usually hear more trauma 1 through 3.
That's what
And I thought I remembered that 3 was where you can get, they bring you in and they can give you do surgery.
I mean, they brought me in by ambulance with my foot because it was dislocated, I had no blood flow. So they had to operate on me within a certain amount of time.
Why didn't you go to Easton?
I was at my house in Denton and they knew Easton could not handle it, so they took me to Salisbury, but her ambulance, you can't ask. And they were trying to fly me out, but they couldn't because it was drizzling and fog. It was 4:30 in the morning. So they literally, when I got up, they literally was standing at the door, putting machines on my foot to see if they could get a pulse before walking with that, because I had a very small window. So, yes,
Maybe what's confusing us is that level 1 is a tertiary care facility.
What does that mean?
That means that they have so it says trauma center is a comprehensive, level 1 is a comprehensive regional resource that is a tertiary care facility to the trauma system. Level 1 trauma center is capable of providing total care for every aspect of injury from prevention through rehab. So that's where you get people who come in and end up in an ICU or go straight into surgery, or a woman comes in pregnant and has to have a special surgery done.
You're talking about level 1.
That's what this just said, level 1, but we're talking about tertiary care. So I think maybe that was what was
What is
confusing us.
tertiary? What does that mean?
Here,
Tertiary?
let me look up tertiary.
So we all have to stay here until we can tell them where to go.
Tertiary care definition, a tertiary referral hospital is a hospital that provides tertiary care.
Yeah.
This is not entertaining. This is confusing.
Such as a level of healthcare obtained from specialists in a large hospital after referral from the providers of a primary care or secondary care facility.
And that's when, if they get you stabilized in Easton, they will take you to that by
Yeah.
ambulance and or helicopter.
Now it says tertiary care medical industry is typically hospitalization requiring advanced equipment and expertise because of a severe or unusual medical situation. It's typically a third point of contact for patients after first seeing a primary care provider, then a secondary care specialist.
So is it the higher number is more intense care? Is that,
Well, now it's
or is it
like-
the opposite? Is one? Or,
It sounds to me like one is primary.
yeah, it
Two
is, the least.
secondary,
Basic
three is
stuff.
It's
third.
basic,
Yeah.
the least, and then the higher numbers, I guess, are more intense.
Guess the important thing is we know which hospitals.
Yeah.
So what is Johns Hopkins?
No, one is-
So-
Well, that's the
Great.
research, it is Johns Hopkins is the level.
That look should be quite it.
That's gotta be a.
Should be the higher number, highest number, I would think.
Well, the highest number is
Best.
one or the three.
Five.
Yeah, it goes up to 5, she said. I just know, I thought 3. Yeah, 1 to 3. It's a 305. Confusing.
John Hopkins is a level 1 trauma and comprehensive stroke center.
That tells you a lot.
That's why I said, I thought one was the top, because
Was the
everything
top, yeah.
I pulled before. So now y'all confuse each other.
Yeah. Very confusing.
Know one thing, John Hopkins is better for surgery. Eat Salisbury if you can. You know, I had a perfect case there for me. Doesn't mean it's gonna be perfect for everybody else. And you have to go with, if you're calling 911, there's probably a very high chance you'll be taken to Easton. If they need to strip you out, they will do that. Thank goodness we're over the COVID, no rooms left. But Easton right now is again, they're color yellow right now because they don't have any beds open. Everybody's in the hallway right now and in the ER.
But their website says they're a level 2 trauma center. Easton? No,
No, Johns Hopkins and University of Maryland are both level 1 trauma
it
centers.
says level 1 for stroke, but if you go to their Johns Hopkins website, to their website, it says something different.
It says level 1 trauma and comprehensive stroke center.
Are you on their website? Go to,
Yeah,
on the Johns Hopkins website, 'cause that's what I was just on.
Hopkins, yeah, hopkinsmedicine.org. There's only 216 level 1 trauma centers in the
Country.
country.
So if you had a stroke, you
Yeah,
have to act on that quickly. Look at your bill.
You gotta go to Easton.
Yeah.
You have to go to Easton to get it assessed. Otherwise, you're not gonna make it to Salisbury or,
Yeah, they got a medicine.
yeah, they will
They have-
get you
okay.
stable.
Well, that answers the question.
So what else does Easton do?
Easton is basically, it's considered a community hospital. They,
I guess general.
general non-surgical immediate surgeries, like my grandbaby, had a problem at a month old and they told her, get her over to Johns Hopkins. Now, it wouldn't let my daughter ride in the ambulance with him, and they chose to drive her. But the doctor assured it wasn't that urgent, that he needs an operation, but it can wait. I mean, get over there, drive over there if you're not gonna tell a new mom she can't get in the ambulance with a child.
So if you had an appendix, a ruptured appendix,
You have to go to the closest place where you die.
but you just said they don't have any surgical means at the
They
community hospital.
stabilize.
They stabilize you, and if they don't have it sitting, they don't have a surgeon there. They don't have that facility.
But they'll call somebody in.
They can call somebody in, yes, they don't have, but there's certain things, appendix, you can't wait. Stroke, can't wait. There's certain things that you're going to go to your local hospital, and they will stabilize you. If they can do the surgery, they're gonna do it, if not, they're gonna fly you out. But they're not gonna be able, there's certain times you can't, there's nothing we can do, it is what it is.
We just had a friend, not even a year ago, had appendicitis. Went to Easton, he was diagnosed as appendicitis. Within less than 24 hours, they operated on him. And
So it was an
how long
initial-
did it go without an operation? No, it was within like 3 or 4 hours they operated on it. They knew what it was, they operated on it, and he.
Yeah, that's a pretty general surgery.
Yeah.
My neighbor who's
That was
a
Easton.
surgeon at Easton Hospital.
Yeah.
I have a neighbor, he told me he was a general surgeon at Easton Hospital, so.
Yeah,
If
there
you
are,
have a surgeon.
they do have it, they're just not necessarily, they're on call, not in the hospital 24/7, but they all are. It's just like when you have a child, you're giving birth, and doctors meet you there, so it's not saying. I was just giving you an idea of where the things are to know your place. The other is, we talked about the subacute and acute rehab, same thing. If you can get into the 10-day rehab, your percentage of getting better is much higher than spending 30 days in a nursing home rehab. That's a subacute rehab.
And be careful, Johns Hopkins has another hospital called Suburban,
That's where my son had his appendix out.
and that's level
Tuesday.
2, not level 1.
Okay,
It's in Bethesda.
now that we've confused everything.
Between Bethesda and Silver Spring.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so,
They're talking about a new hospital with about the same number of beds as the current one,
I think they're having more beds.
not many.
Is it like 13?
I don't know, but if there are people in the hallways now, that's not a good sign.
No, it's not, but got no words. So I just wanted you guys to know about this. I didn't know about for a very long time. Talbot County has a commission on aging. And with that, if you have concerns or complaints, you can go and talk to them. If you have concerns for the seniors in your community or something isn't working, it is an open door policy. They meet on the second Wednesday of the month up in Brooklyn's Place upstairs. I happen to be part of the commission. We're working right now on a bill that is not written correctly to get it fixed, and that's for elder abuse, vulnerability. If you want to hit. We're having Save a Day. This is our first time they've ever done this. It's a senior resource center fair, and it's at May 22nd at the Easton Firehouse. This is the first time Aging Commission on Aging has ever done something like this. So kind of, it's new to us and we're gonna work on it. And I think we've got a good idea of what we want to have there for you guys. Demographics. Yeah. So if you really look at, yeah, you got 50 and over, look how it's going. And hence why we, per population in our county, our senior population is high. And that's being taken very seriously with issues that we're having within the community. We just met with the police about them knowing about certain programs, one being Project Safe, and I think that's.
Real quick, you have 18 to 64 is 52%, that's actually 50 to 60.
This is not mine, this came off of Talbot
Yeah.
County, it is wrong.
Is it, yeah, isn't it?
It's not.
There's 52%, 50 and above, if I did my math right. Yeah. Yeah, so 50 to 60, half of the population is over 50.
You can probably fix that by putting.
Yeah, I'll have to do it because we pulled this off of the website. This is off of Project Safe. Project Safe was made as a coalition for Maryland, and it's the banks, Adult Protective Services, police, mostly I think that's the coalition, and it might be home health, I don't believe that is at this point. What this is a program that has not taken off. It's not, the police don't know about it. We're working with that in Easton right now. Most of the police officers don't know about this program. It's for vulnerable adults. So what's happening is financial exploitation is considered. They've established that, but the police aren't doing that. So if you get it stuffed out of your wallet or out of your checking account, so you're getting taken care of and somebody takes it, the law isn't written, the wording is collusion. And colluding with somebody who's vulnerable, I'm not sure that was written well. We have met with the state's attorney for Talbot County, and he's working with us to get the law written correctly. So we can approach it next year. What type of elder abuse? Physical, psychological, financial, sex abuse, and neglect. We are required to self-report. If we go into a home and we see some of this, we are required to go to Adult Protective Services first, not the police, if it's not an immediate threat. The reason why is Adult Protective Service has more rights. They can send it all the way up to the Attorney General for the state. So it's very iffy. We're working on it. This is something you guys really got to pay attention to and see how we're going to try to get this fixed. It is a problem. We are working on that within our own county. And everybody we talk to is behind us to help get this fixed. So I just want you to know about that, the burden.
Amy, could you go back 2 slides there to this one? In our community, other than East and Club East, I've seen cases where two seniors, the husband was in his 90s and he was getting care in the home, and we would give his credit card to his caregiver to go get groceries. And then the wife eventually discovered that she was getting groceries for herself too. It's pretty rampant, especially when you.
It is, and that's scary. So what we do, if we're in a home that we do those running arounds, we take out the credit card. We own it, it's from our bank, and then we reimburse, they have to take pictures of the receipt every time they use it, and then we add that to next week's bill. That's the way our company does it, because I know it can happen, and I'd rather prevent it than have it happen.
I think part of the reason this can happen, and it goes to the next slide too, is that some caregiver, let's say the kids aren't coming to visit very often, and that caregiver becomes like a kid, and they're here every day, they say, oh, your kids don't care about you, blah, 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 and I'll take care of your needs. They ingratiate themselves into the household. This is also where it becomes a problem down the road and we've seen this too, where they change their will and give their home to the caregiver instead of what originally they planned.
That, I just can't believe that happened. You told me that, and that is just,
It's happened a number of times.
it's heart-wrenching to know that. Now, I do know that has happened in Philadelphia when I was working up in PA, that the mailman noticed it because all of a sudden different mail was coming to the house. I mean, so they were noticing how that was going down and they were able to catch it. But you're right, you really need to watch it. I'm not saying all caregivers are bad, because I have great caregivers and other companies have great caregivers, but it only takes out one.
I think one thing might be to when you get to a point where you're looking to hire an outside caregiver to come in, to really talk about the procedures that the organization has in place to watch for that. So you come in, you
Yes.
order a receipt and things like that.
My CM, my care manager's in every home, every week. So we're involved in it and she sees it. If she needs to do more training because the level of care has gotten worse. We have a client right now that was an amazing lady and she's now down to basically nonverbal, but she's there. You can see she's mentally there, but physically we are now having to do hand under hand for eating to help her eat. So she's declined a lot in this last year, and that's the disease. The problem is if you don't know your clients or you don't know the whole picture, it can be scary. We talked about this before for tax purposes. If you want to pay somebody under the table or whatever, we talked about having insurance and things. I have seen more, my competition isn't my competitor, it's caregivers being paid under the table. That's my competition. And it's just educating people to understand. they fall in your house, you're not insured for it unless you have that rider. So there's a lot of bells and whistles that we put in to make sure everything is going right. Our system is our program, which some companies use, it's expensive, but I can see minute per minute, if they just did a task, you know, they have to do this, this, and this at the house, make sure she had her medicine, did she eat breakfast, how much did she eat, did you get bathed, all those tasks that we have listed, they click them as they're doing them. So we can tell right away if something's wrong. Is there a change of condition? All those things. I had a house, lovely lady, had a group of caregivers, one of them was managing it. And the daughter was getting very frustrated. And she asked us to go in with that private caregivers. I don't normally do that because it doesn't work. Because they have a different way of doing it than what I want it done. And they believe their idea is better than mine. And it could be, but I have to follow the law. And all, you know, I have a licensing, so they can come and look at my paperwork anytime they want in my office. They were basically manipulating that client, those 4 caregivers, one particularly was manipulating her to say exactly what she said. Your kids never visit, they don't call, we're here, and that was happening. When I went in, I realized that, I called the daughter, I said, you need to make some changes right now, because caregiver was even writing down what request she wanted for her funeral. Totally inappropriate. But it happens, so I have to agree with you, it's just heart-wrenching to see this happening. And these are smart elderly people, it's not about them not having the intelligence, some of it is brain changes happening as we get older, it just is. So we have to address that.
And it's emotional manipulation,
Oh, gosh, yes,
which is
absolutely.
different than, yeah.
And she was charging like crazy care management fees and like ridiculous. And when her daughter got into the books, they realized, okay.
We started getting concerned another neighbor, when we saw that 2 cars who had been at her home a lot. They were doing some work, but I'm talking a lot, for like a month or so, and I would check in with her, what in the world are they doing? Well, blah, blah, blah. What else are they doing? Because,
Right.
you know, and so one day, she finally told them that, look, I can't afford to pay you and get this until I get this taken care of, so they stopped coming, and then all of a sudden they were there again. And I saw it and went over, I called her and said, is everything okay? Yeah, it's fine, thanks for checking, but yeah, I had asked them to finish it. So, but that's that whole manipulation thing, you start seeing that, you go,
And you will see that hasn't happened to me in my business, but it has happened in a company I did work for, PPA. It was, they'll say, oh, it looks like you need that plumbing done. Oh, my boyfriend can do that. And go and put it in. It's not allowed, you're not allowed to solicit, you're not allowed to do anything on the side, you're not allowed to recommend. That's not the caregiver's job. So yeah, it's just be very cautious about this. And if we can get the word out, I think, and be cautious, as you said, for your neighbor.
Yeah.
Because, if you see something going on over there, check it out. So, what can we do about it? And we just about explained that, listening to the adults and the caregivers, understanding their challenges and provide support. That's one of the things. Maryland is trying to get this rebooted since COVID. So this is what we're trying to do, educating each other on the signs, which we talked about, report suspicious, abuse and neglect, build a community that fosters. And that's what you're doing in Easton Club East. You're trying to keep an eye on everybody. And I know we're all getting old, we're all getting busy, we don't have time to check on everybody, but set up your systems.
Neighbors,
Yeah,
you want them to know you,
right.
so.
No, I agree.
Sorry,
No, that's okay.
you ready?
So this is social services role. These are the questions that they go through. And this is on your slide with the true link and everything that you can read it. But the questions are very, are you a victim? And so many times people don't want to tell because then they might be saying, oh, he's failing, he can't have. Somebody else has to handle the money. I had a caregiver, and you've heard this story probably 100 times. I was at a client's house and I was her caregiver at the time. The phone rang and it's the one that, Grandma, I'm in jail. I'm listening to her, and at the same time, I'm texting her daughter, like, get over here, this is like, and the daughter didn't get this. So went through the whole thing, they hung up, the next one called, and I gotta tell you, it was unbelievable how they did it. They sat there and said, okay, we need $10,000 to be wired to this, you have X amount of time, and when you go to the bank and they ask you what this is for, you tell them it's none of their business, it's your money. I mean, they were grooming the client to do this, and all the buzzwords they put in. Well,
Banks all know those buzzwords now too.
they should,
They should.
right, so what happened when she hung up, I looked at her and I said, I understand it's your money, but listen to me. That's a scam. We need to call your daughter. And and then she said, well, I'll call my grandchild, who was like 13. Why would he be in another country? You know what I mean? It's like she couldn't connect that piece of it. And he was in bed in Hawaii, where he lived. But that's kind of how far they go. And they always say, don't tell mom and dad, which is your child, and that becomes a problem. Yeah.
That exact same thing happened to me. I got a call from my brother, who had said he got a call from my son, who was in jail. And it sounded, it sounded legit. My brother was real upset. And he was ready to use his credit card to give this guy the money. Unbelievable. And then I thought, let me call my son. He says, hi, Mom. I said, where are you? He said, home.
Yeah,
But
it
the
is-
man, my brother was about to give his credit card and his wife said, don't you dare.
Yeah.
But it does happen, and don't be fooled, it happens a
I
lot.
was talking to the bank manager at PNC the other day, and she said it happens a lot.
It does.
And she's had to intervene a couple of times, and sometimes they'll say no, and then they'll come back in and say, you were right, I just lost $100,000. Yeah, it was just shameful.
And the other part of that is, we're not prosecuting enough. We're not prosecuting the caregivers that are doing this stuff in their homes, and we're not prosecuting
These people.
that call on the phone.
Probably from Taiwan or something.
Yeah,
You can't catch them.
they can't, no, but it's very interesting how far it's coming, because when you personally listen to it, you're like, oh my God, they're good. I mean, they've got that system down, and they know how to do it. The other one we had, when I worked for another company, was, what's the big prize, Publishers?
No Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yes, he was winning this money. And he has to write a check to get the money.
Right.
Yeah. And this gentleman swore up and down and sideways he was getting it. So I walked into his bank and I said to the bank, I said, I know you can't tell me if he has a bank account here or not, but I know when he writes his checks on for me. I'm telling you, this is going on in his house. Because they gave him a $10,000 check and he was gonna go, I guess right hit another one, like a 12,000, it was very weird. He put that one in the bank and of course it didn't clear. But the bank lady says, we need to wait for that to clear before you write him a check, because that's exactly what they'll do. So Publisher Clearinghouse was a big thing, probably 5 years ago
And
around
then
here.
they have your account number, which is
Yeah.
why they want you to write a check.
Right. Yeah,
Right. They get the-
I didn't even think of it that way, but that's exactly,
That's
yeah.
why they do it.
They get the routing information,
Yep,
they get everything.
they get it all.
So
It's crazy.
I have a solution that I use. I don't answer the phone unless it's a number that I recognize.
Yep.
And if they don't leave a message, I notice a telemarketer or
Yeah, we're getting a lot of that telemarketing lately. It's come back.
If they don't leave a message, forget it.
You can always call them back
Right.
if it's
And
somebody you
you
know.
just screen the calls.
No, and it's sadly, it's sad that we've become to this, but I do the same thing. If I don't know the number, I'm not gonna get the phone. I leave a message, I'll get back to you. So the next one, so I just wanted to talk about that. You know, we were talking about, I wanted to bring this piece up about loneliness and social isolation. As we get older, we start not driving, or we just don't go out on days or visits. You and I were speaking about what does that look like? Where do you want to be? Everybody originally says, I want to be in my home. It might not be, you might have to do a lot of work to be able to stay home. Financially, bathrooms, certain things to be put in. But you need to take advantage of what is the loneliness, is isolation, because isolation can cause a couple very strong health issues. Oh, sorry. Oh, you do that one. Is it?
I don't know, it didn't sound.
Was there sound on it?
Mhm.
Loneliness and social isolation are connected to combat loneliness and social isolation. Feeling lonely and being isolated are bad for your health. Loneliness and social isolation are associated with higher rates of depression, heart disease, and more. The good news is that you can help prevent and reduce the impact of social isolation and loneliness. However, it's important to know if you're at risk. Try to stay active and better connected if you live alone or can't leave your home. Feel alone or disconnected from others. Recently had a major loss or change. Are a caregiver. Or lack a sense of purpose. Here are some ideas for staying connected. Find an activity that you enjoy or learn something new. You might have fun and meet people with similar interests. Get moving. Exercise decreases stress, boosts your mood, and can increase your energy. Volunteer. You'll feel better by helping others. Stay in touch with family, friends, and neighbors in person, online, or by phone. And consider adopting a pet. Animals can be a source of comfort and may also lower stress and blood pressure. For more information about preventing loneliness and social isolation, visit www.nia.nih.gov.
I'm sorry. I know it's like the elephant in the room that we don't want to know what we have to think about. And that's, you know, totally understanding isolation. Does anybody, I mean, honestly, you're here and you're at Chesapeake Fort. This is a great place to meet new people and different things and maybe pick up, let's go have coffee or whatever. You have how many classes?
Well,
There's about 30 a
classes
semester.
a semester, which
Lots.
have multiple sessions. The multiple session classes are the ones where you tend to get to know people more.
Yeah, I
They're
could
not
see that.
single session classes where people, oh, hi, how are you? You've seen them before, but
But just being in part of this Chesapeake Forum, this is huge. This is getting you out of your house, getting you out of your comfort zone.
a reason to get up in the morning
Yeah.
And get dressed.
and get dressed.
God forbid if we did.
I was gonna comment on that.
Yeah, we should have a Chesapeake Forum class where we
We
show.
could have a
up in our-
pajama party.
That's an idea, but
We could learn about sleep apnea or something.
There you go. Oh, Austin's would probably teach it too. We got Austin Medical, they'll be good at that.
Bring your own pillow.
Yeah.
I'll make pop.
This is just to let you know, we have a drive, that we're having some issues with seniors that can't afford. Yes.
I think that, making sure that older people have hearing aids.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Because I have hearing aids and for the longest time, I've missed a lot, you know, I was big in it. So it's really, really.
That's a really nice thing, I mean, for you to say that, because it's true. It is so true. And then when they they don't have hearing aids and everybody's talking at the same time, they can't filter, they can't, so they stop going to family dinners and things like that because
Going out to restaurants.
It's overwhelming.
because it's clanging, it's all of the noise, and that's true, we had one of our clients told, stayed home for Christmas because he can't hear.
My mom told me that one time when she was living close to my older brother and his whole family was going to be there. She said, I'm not even gonna go because I won't be able to hear anything. And when she did go, she would sort of sit by herself and be ignored because she couldn't hear and people didn't realize that was why she was sitting there by herself.
That's a really good point though, because it is true, I mean, and now guess what, hearing aids are cheaper, finally.
They're still.
What?
Costco.
Do you guys know that they finally got it? What was the law? It was something with Medicare.
I did see a law change.
A law changed, and which meant you always had to go to a hearing doctor and all this, and then they were 1,000 apiece or 2,000 apiece, whatever they are. Costco, Sam's, a lot of companies are now doing hearing tests, and you can buy them from them, and they're like 300.
I know some person, oh, well,
They're
How much
still,
did
they're still
More
expensive.
than that.
Yeah.
Oh, it really?
the ones you buy online.
No, at Costco's.
Now, anyway, if you go to a private, audiologist, you may pay as much as 7,000.
I was gonna say
The
5,700.
one that I have is 1,300.
Wow, but that's both, that's, so yeah.
That's doable. And Medicare, do Medicare pay part of that?
No. But if you deduct it, you can deduct it, say it, on your medical,
Yeah.
You check.
on your taxes, yeah. But thanks, that's a really good point. It does also cause the isolation, as you said. This I just wanted to put off, that they're having a need, you can drop them off at Home Instead, Brooklyn's, or Tama County Health Department. I don't know if you can read it, but they are looking for wipes, disposable gloves, the chucks, the flat pads under beds, pull-ups. I know, sorry, you're gonna have this, it's just saying some people in our community are struggling.
I'll email it to you guys this afternoon.
Okay, you got my contact, you've had it the whole time. And these are all your resources here. So you pick them and it'll take you to them, each
You want-
season, each one, we did that, correct? All the resources that are on each one of the,
It's a
Each
sheet,
part.
yeah, I have a sheet that I'll send out with the slideshow this afternoon, so you'll have a PDF that has each of these links, so you just click on it, it'll take you right to the website.
So can you summarize that 1 to 5 trauma center thing? I'm totally. I mean,
I will summarize it in an email this afternoon.
okay, the highest is the lowest.
I will be summarizing, I'm not gonna do it on your time, but I will redo it and send it to you with the links. Cause I don't know what the heck, that,
Let's see.
when you got, it just started getting.
If you look it up, Johns Hopkins is the only one in our area that's the level 1 trauma center that you can go to and have care for anything. She's got it up right now.
Okay, there
See,
we go.
that was the one that I was reading from it.
Is it? I'll just make it a
And I
little
thought
bit
at
bigger.
first I thought it was backwards, but I think Amy had.
Comprehensive regional, so
I think I
that's the
did.
lowest level.
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Go down to 3.
Oh.
Yeah, I was right?
You are.
Oh, in-house coverage, okay,
Yes,
okay, I see.
Damn, I was like, oh my God, I told you something wrong.
Well, see, you have the word tertiary in there, I thought you said that meant lowest.
Yes, one is the best.
Yeah. When I glanced at it and it said regional, I thought, oh, like.
Thank you for pulling that up. Now I don't, and now I'm not gonna kick myself all the way after the meeting. So,
Confusing myself.
get confused me. So right now, this is open just to talk. What issues, what things do you think we need to talk about that hasn't been brought up through the last 3 sessions?
There's you've probably heard of this, there's a website called care.com. And, I had to go away in November and I was, hoping to find somebody to check in on my husband. And I called a neighbor, she said, go on to care.com, so I did, and I found a person through them. But I was feeling very insecure about the whole thing. It worked out, but, they have caregivers, you look at them, you pay a fee, a monthly fee. And they're local women mostly, and they have a little bio, and then you pay them what you want. Probably cheaper than your.
Oh, I'm sure.
Sort of like that.
So,
But did they have you take out the taxes and your homeowner's insurance?
no, we did, this was very short term, this was like a few days.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the law is changing and they're gonna come down on, unfortunately, you guys.
Right.
Well, right
I hate
now,
to say
I didn't have a chance to look it up.
No.
I used to be an accountant, I used to do tax work. There's different rules within the codes about household help. And when you do have to pay tax, meaning social security on this person.
Mhm.
And and that was more set up for household help, like cleaning
Domestic
and all the
stuff.
time. But, if it's once a month, their financial levels.
I believe it's $600.
It used to
No, no, it wasn't 600, no. It was much more than that, but
be.
I don't know what the latest is, I haven't researched it, but when I hired this lady, I thought, oh my God, I gotta look this all up before I do our tax return this year.
Just to give you a heads up, at the bottom of the care.com site says care.com does not employ any caregiver and it's not responsible for the conduct of any user of our site. All information and member profiles, job post applications and messages is created by users of our site and not generated or verified by care.com.
Yeah, doesn't that sound like Angie?
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it's set up.
It's, here it is, but I'm not gonna
Right.
own it. And I get it, I do, with that situation. I just, my big thing is they haven't been vetted. And that's my big,
The burden is on you
yeah, it
to
is.
do this vetting, and, yeah.
And people that are working for care.com, how much did you pay her?
I don't wanna say.
Okay,
It was around $20 an hour.
I pay my staff that. So her going out on her own makes me wonder why.
Right, well, you pay your staff, but I would make you.
Yes, I am 38, I'm not cheap. I'm 38, we're a boutique company,
Right.
that's what we charge,
Right.
an hour, and we pay our staff. They start at 17, 18, 19, certain cases they get 20, but they are my employee, I have to pay workman's comp, all the
I
taxes.
understand.
But it's just all I said I think the first day, I said, just be aware of your options and what you choose, yes.
So, Andy, are you able to respond to a short-term need like this?
Oh, yeah, we do that all the time.
This
You can.
Oh, yeah, we do that all, thank you for that. We do that all the time. We do anything from a lady who we take out once a month down from Suffolkville to here to go to her doctors, do all of that and take her back up.
How about Pet City?
But yeah, so there's all different levels, of different care. We do everything from that to end of life when we work with hospice. So we do 2 hours or more, basically. Yes.
So, one issue that comes up for me is communication, medical information and communication. I try to make this brief, but basically I met with my internist in Washington last week and I asked him some questions like, if I have an issue, how do I get back to you? And he said it's a system. It actually, his defenses went way up and I could see his fatigue and frustration immediately. But basically, I couldn't get to him. I would be, if the hospital here would have to say that I qualified to be transferred, like whatever condition I have, yes, I need to go to whatever X hospital. That would have to happen first. The hospital on the other end would have to accept you. And he's out of that whole loop because where he functions, this is GW, he's in like a nonprofit arm of the hospital and the hospital's corporate.
So then you go into this corporate situation and you have the hospitalist, right? So now I have no relationship. And this is normal in the nation. This isn't odd. This is like the way it is now. So you have hospitalists and your primary care doesn't go to the hospital. So then you're thinking, okay, communication here. But my question to you is, how do you communicate? How do I, let's say you were taking care of me or my husband, and suddenly an issue comes up. How do you stay in the communication loop because you know us?
Actually, I do stay in a loop. I talk to clients, regularly. I have a CM care manager who manages your level of care, what you need. We have a nurse that coordinates with your doctor.
Okay.
If we can get that going through. We deal with a surgeon, neurologist, up in Johns Hopkins. And we can feed that through their portal. So we'll send our notes and stuff to make sure
Okay,
things. We, pick up the phone,
I'm sorry.
pick up the phone and call, because we answer, even if I'm not in the office, I know every call that's gone to the office has gone to my phone.
Okay.
So I'm well aware of who and what. I know that doesn't sound like a answer,
No,
but,
that's really
okay.
good to hear.
Yeah, I'm not on volume, I'm on quality. I want to be the best, and we just had this conversation for one of my houses. Everything's doing good, I can't complain, but they're not here. I need the team to be here, not here.
Right.
And I just had that as my CM.
I think the worry, for me anyway, is, what if I'm the last one?
Yes.
We have little kids, and my brothers are on the other side of the nation. If, I might have to pick up and go and move near them, but, or if I stay, then if that's the situation, it's like, what if I have a stroke? And there's nobody to be my advocate when I get to the hospital.
Right.
And
Or there's nobody to call 911.
of course, yeah,
If you're having this stroke, you may not be able to.
right,
Or that
yeah,
happened to somebody that I know this week.
yeah. So that's why neighbors come in real yes, but, but those are, with an aging population, that's an issue that will, I'm sure, be coming up more and more.
Well, it is, and that's where I'm hoping eventually the government accepts what we do as cheaper than putting people in nursing homes
Yeah,
and letting you stay in your home. And that's my wish. Don't know if it'll ever happen, but it would be nice
it would definitely be better care than a nursing home. In most
in
cases.
those situations. So with what you said, when we have a client, even if we're just picking up a client because they're in the hospital, myself or Beth, my CM, goes to the hospital until the child can get here. We're their eyes, we're asking the questions, we're feeding them right back to them. We stay with them into the
What
family.
if there's no family?
Or if there's no family, that's where you need to, remember we talked about the bag and putting your contact and stuff in that bag? And if there is no family, this is kind of where you have to talk to an attorney like Patrick, who's managing one of my clients' care, financial. So,
Well, also, you have to have a friend, Lynn.
yeah,
That's all I think about.
You have to have a friend.
It has been asked about this last week, so I'm still not clear on the difference between the most form.
okay, I'll say it again because there's some things you can walk away with. Most form is a medical order. They're not gonna look at the DNR anymore, it's not a medical order, they're gonna do everything they can to get you, so you have to get your most done. And has anybody considered that since we talked, was it last week or the week before?
Oh, yeah.
It's really important, if you have any walkaways, the most is the first thing I gotta say. Know what your medicines and all that stuff in the baggie, in your freezer. That's really important. And,
Does it get filed with the hospital or just in your possession,
It can-
in the house?
you can file it at the hospital. You can keep it in your home. Your doctor should have a copy of it. everybody should have a copy of it, so you know. But remember what I said, if a change in conditions, and now you don't want this, it needs to be redone with a doctor.
It's a good idea to have it electronically, you can download it onto your.
On the Google, yeah. Because that is really important to remember. I told you my story, which broke my heart, that the doctor didn't, probably was moving into hospice. I said it, they didn't change the form at the hospital. He goes home, hospice doesn't come till Monday, he dies on Sunday. And they had to do everything they could. Now, granted, he was going into hospice, he should have not had to have that done, but that one piece wasn't done. And just remember to keep an eye on your most, share your most with your loved ones,
And update it, you mean.
update it if something changes in your condition or health. Make sure it still matches what you want.
That's hard to do if you have dementia.
Yes, it is, and that's gonna be the hard one now. So
That's
what
a
is,
legal issue now.
yeah, then it becomes a legal issue, so get it the way you want it now, and then you could say and or, if it does this, or if I go to this level, you've gotta get it written exactly what your real wishes are.
There's been I read in the Star Democrat that there was an effort to get people to record their advanced directives in the health system as well.
Yes, there, in fact, the guy came and spoke to us over at Eastern Club East. They've hired a guy now who his responsibility is to enter all that information into the hospital records. But be careful because it doesn't go into all, it's not going into all hospitals.
You know, stuff going into John Hopkins, or, you know, if they don't relate, depending if they're Epic, like Title House has their own.
Yeah, I did have to talk to him. He was from Shore Health.
Yeah.
But he was the one I reached out to and I said, is my VA one in there? And he said, he looked it up and he said they didn't have a record of it.
Right, so just because you put it in one place doesn't mean it's there.
Correct. Does anyone know, does somebody know that true, that you can put all these documents in and things in to put in your freezer?
That too,
I-
would be pretty big.
I don't know, would it?
Well, I'm thinking of my documents, but
Yeah, that's what Pat, wait, did you bring the thing you said you were gonna? You were gonna bring something for the files?
Oh, that's different.
Okay.
But no, I didn't bring it, I forgot. But
Yeah.
there's from Jody's class, when I saw this online, I said, oh, that would be great. You can do a next of kin box.
Oh.
And it has it's just like what you talked about in your course. And so it's like getting a file box over at Staples or
it's
something.
kind of set up so that it has a slot with a title, so you know that you need to put this document in that slot. And it helps you to determine whether you have all the necessary
Right,
paperwork.
Do you know what it's called?
yeah, it's called a knock, what I'm talking about is called a knock box, NOK box. And it's a small
get it?
company,
Oh, sorry, I was working on the email to all of
so,
them.
here,
And okay, you said?
yeah, NOK, I think it was NOK.
I just got a book. I got a spiral book.
The value of that is that it will ask you for a document, each one of these slots.
So you know you need to be putting something in, that's really a great idea, I have
That's
not.
all in one place, and I think
Oh.
you just pick it up
Here you
and
go.
walk away with it. Yeah, so I have.
Hey, you can get 16% off.
So I have that.
Oh, so
The
it has
deal
all
was
of
that I would do the taxes that last year and my husband would fill this out. It hasn't been done yet.
So now the deal is this year you're gonna do that, he does the taxes?
I know, I think that would be.
You wanna watch the video?
Yeah.
I have to show you my Knockbox. It's a system that comes with 15 pre-labeled folders and 66 pre-labeled subcategories that organizes every single part of your life in case of an emergency or death. It even comes with detailed instructions so you know exactly what information you need to put in your box and what your next of kin needs to do with it. I love that you can choose a few different kits so you can get organized at a price that works well for you. Get one now so you can leave your family with memories and not a mess.
Feeling a little stressed now.
Yeah. But that's a really, I had never heard of this. That's a really great.
Everything's already made.
Yeah. So it tells you what you're supposed to put in where.
Yeah.
That's nice, because I got one of those spiral books, but there's no place to put things, you just write it all.
So Trina, can you go down far enough to see what it costs?
Let's go over here and shop.
Yeah, so, okay, so you can get one that's fireproof.
Please.
Just kind of, I have the third one, the original knockbox. And that's,
159.
yeah.
And then this one is probably you buy your own box
Well,
or,
no, that one, all that is, those are bags to put your keys and things in.
and this is the base kit has.
Yeah, there's the.
And that's kind of cool, I didn't realize.
So it just has the hanging, so if you've got your own file cabinet.
Is it legal size? Ridiculous.
Good question, because all the documents.
So Doty here
Yeah,
does a course, usually at least once a year,
15 numbers.
where she goes through all these things.
Oh, you did, I'm sorry, what?
So Doty here does a course, usually once a year, where they go through all of, it's a 2-session course, and they go through all these details that are kind of included in this, but,
Yeah, it's called Surviving the Financial and Emotional
something of
Setbacks.
loss, it's surviving loss of a spouse.
So it's getting prepared. So it's for couples, it's for people who are still married and living. And then you find out all the things you have to do ahead of time,
Yeah,
like the knockbox would be one. In order to be able to have everything that you need.
You know, you can get a special deal on these if you do it like a class and people can come and.
That's what, yeah, they've got the base kit 5 pack.
There's lots of ways to keep it.
It's only $100 a
Probably
person.
one of the better ways, but there are books you can fill out, yeah. But this course really gets to the emotional stuff. We make sure people understand what it's gonna be like.
Cause it's not so
Yeah.
easy right now.
You lose a spouse and you've lost your mind, you know, and, anyway,
So
it's a wonderful program, it really is, and it's
it
very
usually
helpful.
sells out pretty quickly.
Yeah, it sells out, so.
What's it called?
I think we call the short version is losing a spouse
Oh.
and then.
Yeah.
And is it just speak?
Surviving the loss
Yes.
of a spouse.
Yeah, we do it for
Surviving
just
the loss
one.
of a spouse.
has anybody, how many of you have been in Chesapeake before, it's so quite bad? More than, a little bit more than half.
So we have done new people, about 100 new people every semester.
Wow.
That's great.
That's
And,
awesome.
and quite a few of them stay and do other things. Sometimes that's not true, like if they're just going for one of the field trips or something, but it's neat because then if you get new fresh faces every time you give your course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And people tell each other, you know, there's the,
Oh, yeah, we started telling people, bring your spouse, and lo and behold, it first started out, it was all women, it seemed like, and then they went home and told their friends, and then their friends, then you should bring your husband too, and I did it one time, then I made my husband come with me for the second time. So,
Is there anything that you guys, do any of you go to like the senior center?
Well, I do once in a great while. I go to the Y quite frequently, almost every day, and I have just found it to be a very nice senior community.
And I guess that's kind of where I was going, is we gotta find what's your new community gonna look like as we get older. Because our children are out doing their thing, if you have them, and it's just, it's a,
well, sometimes church becomes a community.
yeah,
I think that for many of us, we look for a church that feels like family.
yeah,
And sometimes that would be people that you meet in a classroom situation, especially ones like, like the memoir writing class, where people really get to know one another. And sometimes it's a matter of taking classes here at the Y and getting to know the person next to you.
We had a Christmas party and, then we go out for coffee and.
that's great.
Yeah.
I second that with the why I came from a class downstairs. It's a great community, and it gets you moving.
Yeah,
Well, that's when we merged with the Y, that was part of our thinking was it made perfect sense. The Y gets you moving and we get your brain going.
Can I say you guys are really lucky because I live in Caroline County near Denton and our Y is nothing like this.
no,
It's, they have 2 exercise rooms, they have daycare, and then there's the main room with the machines. There's no place to gather, there's no little table to eat your lunch. So you're really lucky. I didn't realize how big this place was until I started working here.
Until you start getting lost.
So seriously, because I came to play, a few years ago, I came to play racquetball with my husband. And so we just went to there. And then when Lynn said we have a cooking class in the kitchen, I'm like, where's there a kitchen? I got taken to the kitchen. There's this whole area I didn't even know existed.
I didn't even know they had a kitchen.
Oh, yeah, very well
It's a pretty
equipped
small.
too. Really well equipped. They've got kitchen equipment.
Yes.
I had at my home.
Well, she's not using that for the
So
time.
does anybody have any questions or comments, like something that's worked for you even?
Where does a place like Londonderry fit into living at home?
Okay, so you have multiple options, good question. You have like Londonderry, where when you move in, it is a senior housing. It isn't non-medical, nothing. But they do have a nurse on site. When we have a client in Londonderry, so we go in certain times of the day or whatever to tend to her. But we also make sure she gets downstairs for lunch and meets her friends, because that's important to her as well. But her memory's declining, so we have to just get her where she needs to be, and then she's perfectly fine and loving it. Londonderry is non-assisted. Then you have assistants, which is Hartfield, Bailey Chase.
But isn't Londonderry associated with Hartfield?
No, that's a big, they are not. They bought the land from them.
So you can't go from Londonderry to Hartfield.
You could, I mean, if that's the route you want, if there's openings, which right now most places have vacancies. So you could go into assistant living,
There's only 2 assisted livings?
Candlelight.
Candlelight,
Bailey Chase.
Bailey Chase.
Hartfield, and Candlelight. Is there any other
Where's Candlelight? That's on.
behind the hospital?
And there's another assisted living that's being built on,
Acadia.
yeah. I don't know.
That's not Washington.
It's not, she has, her place is more like a community house, like with, everybody has their own bedroom, but it's small. I think she's gonna have 15 beds, I'm not sure. Acadia has 2 up in Denton, this one in Talbot County and one in Queen Anne's. There's also a place, is it called Queenstown? It's affiliated with Candlelight Cove. It's fairly new, it's pretty, it's shiny.
Is that the one behind the emergency center up
Yes.
there? Yeah.
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 It's-
Oh, Dixon House, is that more of a assisted living or?
Now, does Brooklet's provide kind of daycare?
No.
We do not have any daycare in Talbot County, adult daycare, which is really kind of shocking.
It does, because I have a neighbor that gets picked up by a van and goes to a daycare.
They're probably being picked up to go down to Cambridge, because they have adult daycare down there.
No.
Has anybody gone to the integration? The place in Cambridge.
Multicultural Center.
Thank you. Has anybody gone down there? It's pretty cool. It's lovely. They have daycare, and then across the hall is senior things you could do as a senior. They have lunches there. They have activities there. It's actually new, and it's getting a lot of attention, even from our mayor just went down there. Yesterday.
Where is that?
Cambridge.
Oh, here it is. I just pulled up this site.
No,
Arts Center.
no, that's not.
No?
It's not art.
Oh, okay.
Generational,
So it's called the Multicultural Center.
That's not.
multi-generational, I thought.
Oh, generational, I did,
first one?
That's Cambridge Dictionary.
Oh.
Let's see. Center.
This is a test.
Amy,
Yes,
you said that most assisted living places have vacancies.
right now it
What's typical?
seems, it is before COVID. They wanted you to come in when you didn't need assistance, like Hartfield's, and they would say, but if you don't, you might not get in when you need assisted living. And it's a fear factor. And it's not true. A lot of them have it. So you can call anybody and ask. So you've got Hartfield's, and I'm not just heavy on Hartfield's, but you're there, you're having fun, somebody makes your dinner, you go down for food, there's activities, they do bus trips, and this is for any of those candlelight, Bailey Chase, it's that kind of environment. Then you might need help, maybe you need assistance with medicine management, maybe helping get closed, certain things. And then they have memory care.
At Hartfield's.
At Hartfield, at Candlelight Cove, at Bailey's, they all have a component.
They all have these big, complicated, long-term contracts, because conceivably you go to assisted living here and then you want to move closer to your family somewhere else in another state or something.
Yeah, some of them, like I know over in Delaware, you have to sell your home to be able to, or give them your home, or something like that. I don't know all the details, but
So
To be able to afford it.
to be able to go into a couple of those.
Maybe that's just if you're Medicaid.
yeah, I think that's a Medicaid.
Is that Medicaid?
So this one class, and I wish we could find somebody to speak on this, is how you save your home from Medicare.
We do have somebody coming in next semester
Great.
who will be talking about Ellen Spalitas. She's an attorney in Annapolis who specializes in this. So,
That's huge.
because that was the question that I've raised, and we happen to know Gordon Frank here in town. He's gonna be talking about.
It's 11:10.
trusts. And then he's
I
bringing in
just got
his
the,
associate
say,
to
by
talk about
12.
about that whole issue of how do you protect yourself when a spouse needs care that's draining you
Financially.
financially. So.
And it is a big thing. I mean, my
Good.
my sister's mother-in-law had a house in Easton Club East. Got moved into one of the facilities here. Now she's in the memory care, and every penny of that house had to be used before she got to be on Medicare, and that was like $350,000.
I think,
That's
Medicaid. Medicaid.
I think if there's a spouse,
They don't
you
pay.
can still live in the house, but when the spouse dies, the house goes.
there's some tricks about it, and it's very difficult to.
That's what
Especially when you're the spouse and you're upset and concerned about your loved one and you're trying to figure out how to do it. So, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I would encourage you guys to take that.
Yeah.
That's
What's
huge.
it called?
It's next semester, and this department, they have that information. That's clear.
So while she's looking for that, it took a while because it's part of Delmarva Community Services. The intergenerational center is at Chesapeake Grove. So it's like buried in the, it doesn't have its own website, but they do have transportation. It says transportation available through our system, so you can go there and learn more. Their senior citizens are invited to Chesapeake Grove, 9 to 2 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
And you have the senior center that they do build meals, St. Michael's too. I'm not sure if
They'll do escorts to and from appointments.
Inside the
It
wall.
doesn't say how far out those people have to be.
That's the different, okay, that's right, the other one's gonna use them. So this, the class that I'm talking about is called Planning for Our Future Before It Reaches Us with Gordon Frank and Alina Solito, and it's going to be May 29th and June 5th.
It's May.
Oh. Geez. Sounds good, right? Yeah, I know. On top of us.
I looked up what I think are the current tax rules. it's for a household employee would be 1,000 per quarter. To pay 1,000 per quarter or $2,700 per year to what's considered a household employee, then you're required to pay social security tax on that person.
Thank you, because, yeah.
So I came close. I came
You were
close.
close. So,
And then you have to be an employer, I mean, you have to get their social security number and you have to.
and I think Care.com actually has a component, they'll charge you for it, but they can cut the check and you pay the taxes and all of that. I
Was that,
thought it was a way they were doing that.
was that?
I think Care.com has a spot,
Oh,
but remember, when you start paying taxes, now you got workers' comp. And your house looks crazy. So,
They're gonna do, this is, they're,
oh, wow,
they're adding to it, so they've got the intergenerational center
it is gorgeous, guys, and I would
that, and they're going to be building assisted living facilities, senior housing. So the community
Yeah,
center was
that's-
the first part.
you can hit that Santos.
Hi, I'm Santo Grande. I'm the Executive Director, CEO of Delmarva Community Services. Yeah, we're at the site of the Chesapeake Grove community development that's being done by Delmarva Community Services. It's in Cambridge, Maryland, off of Chesapeake Drive and Route 16, which is the road that goes to Church Creek, Maryland. We've been in existence as a nonprofit 45 years in Dorchester County, and I've been here for almost 45 years also. This is a development we've been working on since the 1990s. We had a wetlands study done. It was declared non-tidal wetlands, and we went ahead and mitigated that, but it took us over 11 or 12 years to get a permit, a non-tidal wetlands permit, to build on these acres, these 10 acres. So by the year 2010, we were started to plan and develop this area. We have started construction on the site. Infrastructure took place early in the 2000s, and by 2015 we were ready to build. We started construction approximately 2018. 2017 was the infrastructure, 2018 further structure, and then we started building actually in 2019. We expect that the building behind me is the Harry and Jeanette Weinberg Intergenerational Center. It's a great center. We appreciate what the Weinberg Foundation has done for us. We have, it's going to be a intergenerational center where it will have a child care center to serve up to 65 children, and it will have a senior center for all the seniors in Dorchester County to come here and have activities and also meals, etc. We're going to have some unique features. We're going to have a beauty shop inside. We're going to have a gift shop. We're going to have a coffee bar. So it's going to be a real, very nice atmosphere for seniors, and we're welcoming older veterans to come by and visit us every day. They're welcome. And also people with disabilities will be coming in occasionally during the day, and there'll be a lot of intergenerational activities between the seniors and the children that we will be serving. We're going to have playground equipment outside for the kids. And we're also going to have some stationary physical equipment for seniors to have low stress exercise activities. And we're also going to have a bocce field so that people can have have time to play games together and be together. So we're going to have a lot of unique areas in here. We're going to have a cafeteria. We'll have another room for meetings, a separate meeting room near the cafeteria. And we're also going to have a large board room that people, small groups can come and meet there if they need that. So it's going to be a community center. We're looking forward to serving Cambridge and Dorchester County. And this is the beginning of it. And as you can see behind me, the construction has begun.
Pause him so we can show you, because there was,
Is-
here's the picture.
It really is. I would have you guys, encourage you to go down and see it and when activity is going. They do have some rooms that if you wanted to hold a meeting and so forth, it's very nicely done. I remember a couple, it's probably that long ago where there were a lot of grants going out. Where they wanted seniors to be in with daycare. They know that that could be a good plus for both. And there was a lot of grants. That was probably 2010.
Drop off your kids and go see your parents.
There you go. But, I mean, their concept is really great. I did not know they were going farther with seniors housing and all, which is awesome.
I'm
They're gonna have to
surprised that we haven't had more of because there have been studies in Europe and other countries that have shown the need for intergenerational, that how much value there is for seniors to be with children and for children to be with seniors. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of that here on the Eastern Shore.
I am too. Actually, Krishlo is trying to start working with a couple of the facilities to take some kids over to, I know Hartfield's, I'm sure Canada, like some of those places to do some of their stuff, but it's not the same as being there every day. And it is a really great concept.
Yeah, they even do housing like that. I mean, they especially do housing like that so that they're live in where their families and seniors purposefully put together. So my mom as a former teacher wouldn't have liked that, but
I don't know how well you guys can read this, but this is cool. It says, their third build out, which is assisted living, will actually provide support for couples where one partner may live in a senior housing unit while another resides in assisted living. So you could kind of live together, but it wouldn't all be on the spouse.
Well, and the concept is a great concept.
It is.
And I do know
little
they
kids are coming in.
They were working on getting a bus up here to take down there daily for the one section. They're still working on that. He had some hurdles to go through to get the daycare open, he had to have all this stuff done before. It was just, and you see how long it took them to do it. But does anybody else have any questions? Or something that's working for you guys to share?
Not to be personal, but my wife uses a senior center in St. Michael. She does Tai Chi, and they have a book.
Yeah, and they have cards down there. That is a really quaint. It's the way.
By the way, that was mentioned to me last week, and I talked to Wendy Palmer, who's the director of SY, and asked if we could get Tai Chi here, and she's gonna look into that. So that would be super.
Don't they have it at our senior center?
Yeah, it's
Now, it's a Y.
Yeah,
It's a Y.
yeah, they have it at the Y in St. Michael's, and she's gonna see if she can get that same guy to come here.
That's great.
Because apparently everyone really likes him, he understands.
Do you know who it is?
No, I don't, but she's looking into that amongst all the other things she does for us. But anyway, that's more about a why thing than what we would do, but.
Yeah, but it's nice for knowing what's out there, even in the
Well, yeah,
Y.
if we get it, we'll certainly publicize it, so. And we'll publicize your fair on our.
Yeah, please share that with people. We're trying to get, I don't know if it's gonna happen this year. We have to educate the police and to do Project Safe, and we've just learned today, we have to go to the police training commission. We have to apply to once we get everything done, to have them mandate it. So police across our state would understand what Project Safe is and what their responsibility is. So we're working on it. It's gonna take a year. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna take a while.
Can you talk at all about Partners in Care?
Yeah, Partners in Care, I don't know much about them, though she was coming today. Do you understand Partners in Care?
A little bit. My husband does something. I'd like some more details.
I cannot answer that. Can you tell me if you're doing it?
I'm doing it, yes.
So you thrive, you volunteer?
I do volunteer. there are several different aspects. You can do transportation fast. It's, the purpose of Partners in Care is to have people stay at home. And what is the problem with staying at home is getting to the doctors most often. Sometimes it's getting groceries, and sometimes it's going to the beauty shop, but most often it's going to the doctor for several appointments. And that is mostly what I do, is take people to.
Do they assign you a certain person?
No, they don't assign, you volunteer, so they have a list of rides that you go online, and then you volunteer for that, you choose. I have a truck, so I have to be very selective about who I choose. I can't do people with walkers and wheelchairs, they won't get it, they can't get it in my truck. So, so I'm very selective about that, and people from St. Michael's and Children and Trapp and Easton are all either drivers or clients. The other aspect of it is doing handyman tests. There's a lot of folks in the community who can't change a light bulb in a bathroom because they can't climb the ladder to get up to the 12-foot ceiling to do it. They fall and really hurt themselves. And that's another thing that I've been tasked to do is get up on ladders and bathtubs and change light bulbs and do locks and minor handyman tests. That's a minor thing that not very often do the other handyman tests. And then there are other administrative duties around the office that you can volunteer for as well. The office is down on Commerce Drive. They have a website, Partners in Care, and you can just go on onto the website and find out far more information than I just gave you.
So it's all volunteer, so there are no employment issues such as we were talking about with
Yeah.
care.
No. It's all volunteer, and they do reimburse you partially for your gas and time, i.e. money. So you get a certain amount of money. It's a pittance, but yeah. And secondarily, they also give you credit for time that you spent. And what do you mean by that? It means that at some point, you're gonna need that service. And what you do is you bank the hours that you put in, and then you collect those hours when you're in need of it later on.
Well, that's right, guys, we have Partners in Care online right now, since we're talking about it.
Segue.
Hi, can you explain your Partners in Care?
Hi, sorry, I had a little change in schedule today, but our volunteer, I could hear him. He has explained it very well. So thank you. So pretty much as he was saying, Partners in Care is a nonprofit whose mission is to pretty much help older adults age in place at home. And that is done through transportation, handyman services. We have a low vision group, we have social learnings, and we have a pop-up boutique here at Partners in Care. So in our headquarters site, we have an actual upscale resale boutique, and those are the items that a lot of our members donates, as well as the community. And so where we have volunteering, we have a give back system and a time banking system. And as our volunteer was saying, our volunteers use their time to give to the program and members, but while they're doing that, they are banking time for when they would need services in the future. And in exchange for receiving services, our members are expected to do a give back. There are a variety of options. Some members donate items for our pop-up boutique, clothing, houseware, just a little bit of everything. Some members are able to come in and volunteer in different ways. We have a member that in order to give back, she does birthday cards. We have friendly phone calls, home visits for members that are isolated socially, just not able to really get out or have much family or any help with anyone. So we don't do any in-home care, but the friendly phone calls and visits are a part of our program as well. We have the give back system that I was just explaining where, our members give back in different ways. And we also have our Community for Life program, which is a program that was created by the Department of Aging, but is very similar to the services Partners in Care already offers. It's just a paid service for the Community for Life program. It's a monthly fee, but that fee guarantees your services. So that way, if a volunteer was not able to pick up your ride, a staff member would, because you're guaranteed to get your requests made. We do have volunteer options available, not just driving. We have office volunteers. We have advocation available just to go out and try to help us talk about the program. We have memberships that we are welcoming Talbot and Caroline. Those are 2 counties that we serve. And the only requirements are that our members are mobile, able to move from the car to the home on their own, and able to advocate for themselves. So unfortunately, we don't have a mobility bus on the Midshore, but we do have all of our volunteers. So we cannot accept wheelchairs, but rollators, walkers, canes, all those things are very well accepted when requesting ride services here. There are a little bit of requirements when it comes to setting up the membership, nothing major, just a home visit. And we also offer a safety home fall risk check. So when we come in to do your intake, we would just kind of look around your home and give you pointers on things that may be a fall risk, things that you maybe could get added to your home because it's a fall risk inside. So we have a variety of services, and I'm sorry I couldn't make it there today, but if anyone is interested, I think we have our website pulled up and our contact information is there. So feel free to reach out to us, come in. If you have donations for our boutique, we're here Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4. So we're always open and welcoming new members and volunteers.
Can I ask you a question? What is this different than the one that Talbot County bought some vans? Are those mobile? Are they handicapped? I don't know.
You mean like the mobility on demand?
Yeah.
Well, see, that is just under the Talbot County. We just have our own program. We don't have a mobility bus at our site, but our Pasadena site, they have a mobility bus. So currently only volunteers do our transports, but we do refer people out to, the mobility buses if we're unable to service them or they need immediate services. We always use different resources to try to help everyone find what they do need and what's available for them.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Question, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
What kind of donations do you take again, please?
We take clothing, we take houseware, we take cookware, we take a little bit of everything, electronics. We can't really accept furniture right now because we don't have the space. But we will be doing a relaunch of our pop-up boutique actually on March 15th. So hopefully we'll be able to get that out through the Commission on Aging, some different resources, and you'll end up seeing it somewhere, somehow. But March 15th will be our relaunch here at 8694 Commerce Drive.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Glad you got here.
Thank you.
Yes. That was perfect timing.
Aim her up.
So,
Yeah,
Amy, thank you for doing this additional class. I found it to be really interesting and I consider it
got the 3 hours. That was exhausting. I was gonna say. She was reading one thing and I had the numbers wrong. She thought like one was the best.
Yeah.
She was reading, oh no.